Hey everyone, this is Felicia with The Book is Done. Last one, promise. I feel like I just do back to back to back. I have to start getting back into the swing of doing it, but I don't know if I'm gonna have a book hangover or not. You just never know. So, the book that I am going to talk about now, The House Across the Lake, Riley Sager. Now, I don't know if you've seen the other video that I just put out about The Only One Left and how I am a Riley Sager fan. I feel like I have to catch up on his books because I've heard so many good things and so many different opinions about, oh, this book is good, this book is good, you got to read this one. I want to read all of them. And so this is the second book that I've read of his. And so this book, we're just gonna jump into it. So it's this house that's on a lake. It's kind of like a vacation spot for folks. And I want to say it's in Maine. And the main character, her name is Casey. And Casey is an actress who recently became widowed. Her son's name was Lynn, and he died in the lake that the house is surrounding on, like is on. And so that happened maybe about 6 months prior to us starting this book. And so, she, per her mom, so she says she's been bound to this house, and she, by her mom is like, you don't want the public to be in your face again. They already, don't like what's going on, and you just need the public off your back for a while. So you just need to stay out here at the house until you get together. And she's like, Mom, why would I stay in a house in which my husband's body was like that he died in, the lake, few feet from my house? Like, why would I even be here? So, in all things, she is drinking her life away, like legit. I feel like this woman was dealing with alcoholism, so I don't know if that was like a comfort type thing, if that was something to kind of get her through what she was going through and being a widow or not. But every page she was drinking, whether it was bourbon, whether it was vodka, whether it was wine. Girl, stone drunk. Like, some points to the point where she passed out. Other points she was just drunk. She was doing like 3 4 shots at a time before she would stop. So that could possibly be a trigger for some people. But yeah, I don't want to call her alcoholic, but she was borderline an alcoholic. So it's three other houses that we come across. Eli is someone who is someone that looks out for her. He's basically watched her grown up, because the house that Casey is in is the family house that her and her family grew up in. I want to say it was her sister and her parents, her mom and her dad, and this was the summer house. And so it just kind of stayed in the family. So Eli is someone that was looking out for her. So he brought her groceries. He did errands for her. Not that it was much, but he knew what was going on with her husband having died, and just her being in the house. So he looked out for her. And so that's one house. Second house is a character by the name of Boone. Boone, I don't want to say he's like a house sitter, um, but he is in essence a house sitter for a family. He's a fixer upper. Like, he is a maintenance guy. So like, if there are people whose houses are on the lake and they know that they're not going to be there for a while, they'll ask him to look after the house or fix things around their house. So Boone is a recovering addict. He's done AA and things of that nature. And with his story, not to say he's a retired police officer, but he was a former police officer, in which his wife had died a few months prior as well, maybe about 6 months also. So Boone is in second house. Third house is a couple by the name of Catherine and Tom. And so Tom is like this IT person, this tech person, innovator. Catherine is a former supermodel. And so, like, they live off of her, from what Tom said. And so, it goes in the beginning, it has Casey having Tom cornered and being like, "What did you do with her? What did you do with Catherine?" And it's just like, "Oh snap, we just jumping into the fire already? Okay, cool." So he was like, "I didn't do anything to her. Um, I don't know what you're talking about." She's like, "I know you did something to her." So it goes from now and later, now and later. And so later, or before, it says that Casey Casey, I want to say, was out on her deck, and she realized that something was going on in the middle of the lake. Long story short, Catherine is drowning. Like, she's in the middle of the lake and she's drowning. And so Casey gets her boat. She goes out there and saves Catherine. And so her and Catherine, she brings her back to her house. She makes sure she warms up, gives her something. It's like, what the world is going on? Like, what happened? Why? What happened? And Catherine was like, I don't remember. I don't know. Um, but, thank you for saving me. So she takes her back to her house with Tom. And so I want to say later on, either later on that night or maybe the night after, Tom and Catherine meet up at Casey's house. And Tom is like, let me officially, introduce myself. I definitely want to thank you for saving my wife's life. And Eli's there. And you could just tell Casey and Eli realized that it was some shady boo stuff going on between Catherine and Tom. I don't know if their marriage was on the rocks or whatever the case may be, but in all things, something just was not right. And so it was one day Casey found some binoculars. And so all of a sudden, she just found herself looking through her binoculars at Tom and Catherine's house. Excuse me. Excuse me. It's time to go to bed. But she is looking at what's going on in Tom and Catherine's house. It's not like she can stop herself, but it's like she's borderline drunk. So she's just looking just to look, make sure Catherine's okay, because she picks up on different things and she's like, Catherine, are you okay? And Tom is like, she's fine, like they leave. And so, long story short, she's spying on them. She sees different things, and then all of a sudden, Catherine is gone. And Casey is like, what did you do to her? Where is she? Like, none of this makes sense. So she's sending her text messages. She's calling her. Nothing's coming back. She goes over there to Tom's house, and Tom is like, well, she went away. And she's like, what are you talking about? She went away. Like, she's not returning my calls. She's not returning my text messages. He was like, what does it care? What does it matter to you? Like, you just met her. Like, you act like y'all are BFFs or something. And so he was like, I assure you she's fine. So Casey leaves and she's like, something is not right. It's just something is not right. And so she is stalking this man. Like, she's trying to figure out what all is going on. And there's other stuff that happened before with Casey. Like, she realized when she was spying on them with the binoculars that Catherine had come across something. And, Tom would walk in. And, it was one time where they had an argument. So clearly something's going on. So Catherine Casey believes that she is trying to save Catherine, and she's like, we need to get the police involved. And she tells Boone, and Boone is like, well, I was an ex-police officer. I'm a former cop. Let me get in contact with my contact, Wilma, and see what she can do, see what she can tell us. And so, in all things, I'm going to leave that alone because then it starts to turn around. And it's just, when I tell you, I will say that this does have some paranormal stuff in here. So if you're not comfortable, that's where the main twist comes from, is when paranormal activity comes into it. When I put the review out in the book groups that I'm in, I had mixed reviews. Like, some people were like, it was a really good book up until the twist. It was a really good book up until, and then it turned me off. Or, I lost all desire in the book. For me, with the twist, it was definitely unexpected. Like, and I am a spiritual person. I am a spiritual person. So, like, with the paranormal stuff, I was just like, oh, yo, like, it was such a unexpected twist, super unexpected twist. So it definitely, after the twist came, I was just like, what the crap did I just read? Like, mind blown. Do you hear me? Mind just gone. And so this book was really good. Like, to me, it was good. Is it a keeper? I don't know how I feel about it, but I would say it was a strong 4.5. It didn't blow my socks off like the only one left, but doggone it, it was close to it. So, I don't know. I would say check it out. Still a fan. So, this is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. And so I would definitely check it out. I would say, just like Kirsten, I am becoming a fan. And so I have Survive the Night that I'm probably going to read this month, and Lock Every Door. I've heard that both are super, super amazing. So I just have to get myself together and reading that book. So it seems like this month I'm going back and forth between Kirsten and Riley, but it's just so many good books. I am also reading The Girl Who Survived by Lisa Jackson. Never read anything of hers before. And then I have some Stephen King books. Like, I just got a super massive deal on 3 Stephen King books. Um, Day of the Dead, I believe. I can't remember. Dawn of the Dead, something with that. Bag of Bones, and a book called Later, which is like one of his earlier books. I got all 3 of those, like practically brand new condition for like $11. Super geeked about it. Um, and so there was some Dean Koontz books that were coming on that I bought. So I don't know. I'm just into like this whole murder mystery thing. But I have to be careful. I'm trying my best not to buy any more books because there is the local library county book fair that is going on next Friday. I took off work so that I can be there. I will be doing a live. So even if I can't do a live here on YouTube, I will be on my Instagram. I'm on the same handle on Instagram. The book is done. Check me out because I will be there live in effect. Book bags ready to be filled. I'm probably gonna fill up another bookshelf. It's horrible. Like, it's bad, y'all. But you can't beat the deals. And so, again, sorry, I just went on a whole tangent, but it's a lot coming up this month. So I will do better to put more videos up as soon as I finish them. If I'm not in a book hangover, I will be filing. I will be doing a book. But until then, let me know what you think about Riley Sager. Let me know what your thoughts are. I would love to get your input on not only this book, The House Across the Lake, and the only one left, but just any of his other books that you all have read. I know it's Final Girls, and I know that it's maybe like one other book that I don't have. But let me know what your thoughts are. I'd love to know. But in all things, this is Felicia with The Book Is Done, and I'm out. Y'all have a good evening. Good night.